Here we are. Here we are. Lessons from the warrior stage. This is the parenting lessons. I hope everybody can hear me. Um, yeah, we're gonna do this. It has been, friends, it has been an interesting day. Um, up early, networking, seeing the people, doing the things, been trying to catch up on some other stuff from the week. And I definitely wanted to be live and go live here. Why does my okay? I don't know. My internet is not not great right now. Okay, so I'm gonna stop this one. I'm not gonna do that. Okay. All right. Parenting lessons from the warrior stage. Take the mic. Take the mic, parents. Why am I doing this live training right now? I am doing this training because I did something a couple weeks ago that I have never done before. I was an MC for a 3-day business, women's personal development, empowerment conference. It was fantastic. Put on, how's that? Better? Yeah, light. Light is good. Put on by my friend Wendy Babcock. Wendy Babcock speaks, I think, on Instagram. Look her up. She's awesome. She helps speakers get paid to be on stage, which is awesome. And so this experience being an MC was something that felt really right when I floated the opportunity. When I was given the opportunity, felt really right for me at this time in my life and in my business and in my career, and for my own growth. And I'm going to tell you the lessons that I learned and why it means something to you, parents, especially raising teenagers, becoming that young adult parent, that change in relationship. So let's get started. Let's jump right in after all of this preamble. Okay. I am prepared, I promise. Let's jump right in. Here is what we're going to talk about in this quick training. I'm going to try not to take more than 10, 15 minutes, but knowing me, probably like 20. So we've got sort of three spots to it. So I was the MC for Warrior Unchained. It is going to be great. We're going to be in Pewaukee, Wisconsin next year, near the Milwaukee area. For Warrior 2024, go to warriorunchained.com to get your tickets already, because tickets are already on sale for 2024. It's going to be fabulous. And guess who is going to be the MC again? That's right, it's me. So excited about that. I got this opportunity from Wendy, and I wanted to make sure that I really did justice to the feel of the event, the energy of the room, served the people that were in attendance powerfully so that they got what they needed in that event. And that was really my number one intention. And that leads us to my number one lesson for parents. Know what you want. Set your intention before going into a conversation, especially a tough conversation with your teen, with your young adult, with the person you want to influence. Know what you want, and don't be afraid to ask for it and be specific. Now, yes, I know your teen is going to maybe brush you off or not want to hear it. That's okay. You don't have to tell your teen what you want. You just need to know what you want. The thing that I notice a lot, especially when parents are trying to communicate with teenagers and with adults communicating with each other, most of us don't communicate effectively. We think we're saying what we mean, but we're not, because we haven't taken time to check in with ourselves and figure out what it is we want. what specific outcome we're after. And this is why business people have trouble articulating their value. This is why marketing is hard. This is why a lot of things are hard, because we don't know what we want. When you know what you want, when you clarify that outcome that you're looking for, then you can kind of pull back and tweak the message so that you get more bullseye on what exactly it is you're going after. So know what you want, ask for it, be specific. That is something that was really powerful. The feedback I got from my MC presence was that I asked for what I wanted from the audience. I said, I want to connect with you. I want you to change seats in your experience at your table so that you get the most out of this room. You connect with the people you're here to connect with, and that you get the opportunity to meet people, and you don't get caught up in your own head about, oh, should I switch tables? I'm not really meshing with the people at my table. I should move, but that'll be weird because nobody else is moving. No, everyone was moving. So everyone got a chance to see the people they needed to see. I would have done some things differently, but we're not talking about that now. But yes, I was able to stand at the front of the room and say, here's what we're doing. This is how we're doing it. So know what you want, be specific, ask for it. You want your teen to make sure they get their college application done. I need you to get your application done by this day, or the end of this week, or tomorrow, or what is it? What is it going to take for you to get this done? What support do you need from me? Or, things like that. Being able to articulate, I need what thing done by what time, and how are you going to do it, and how it needs to happen if there's specifics around that. So that's the first piece. Second, read the room, baby. That's right. Parents, you got to read the room. There are some times where your child is just not going to be receptive and open to your advice. Sitting down face to face is probably the least effective with teens, especially when you're wanting to talk about something important. They have trouble hearing because it feels very confrontational. They feel very exposed, very vulnerable, very seen. And they don't necessarily want that in their lives, at least not all the time. Being face to face, sitting around the dinner table, that's opportunity for lighter connection, joking around, just talking about day-to-day stuff. For the harder conversations, read the room. If they are hungry, if they are coming off a long day, if they just finished up a lot of homework and they just want to relax, not the time to go deep into what your expectations are or what they need to be doing differently. Feedback is great to give in the car. Regardless of which one of you is driving, in the car, you're both facing the same direction. There's not that kind of confrontational eye contact. So that's a good thing. Read the room. Sometimes face-to-face, sometimes your kids will be open to it, depending on the kid, depending on the relationship you have. But you need to know what they need in that moment. Sometimes you need to get them some food, and then you can have a conversation. So you have to figure out how their need can be met. When I was in the room on the stage, I was really present, being able to read the room, the energy of the audience. I noticed when people started moving around, when maybe we'd been sitting too long. I acknowledged that the individuals in the room needed to take care of themselves, and they needed to move around. They needed to get up. They needed to get water. They needed to go use the restroom. And being awake to the energy shifts in the moment is really important, especially in interpersonal family relationships. Being able to read the room, super important. Now, sometimes you might want to wait for the right moment. Sometimes you'll be waiting forever. I know that from personal experience. So sometimes you just got to say what's on your mind. And if it is not the right time, it is not the time. That's okay. My YouTube, LinkedIn, or Facebook is cutting out a little bit. The feed is a little bit annoying. Because I'm not like hardwired into my internet, which, maybe we'll change that soon. Okay, so how can the needs in the moment be met while you're being present, reading the energy between you and your teenage or young adult child? It seems so weird to say child. Your grown children, growing children, your kidults, your teens and young adults in your life. So read the room, see if there's needs that need to be met before you have the conversation that you're looking to have. So that is another lesson from the stage, is being present, reading the room. There are times it's just not a good time. And if you have a really good, close relationship with your teenager, if you can approach difficult conversations or encounters in a way that says, hey, I have something I want to talk to you about. It's this, because they don't want to feel like they're in trouble. Like, I want to talk to you about X. Is now a good time? And if they feel safe to say, you know what, now's really not a good time, you can feel safe to say, when is a good time? And can we talk about it at this time instead? And sometimes you need to take the lead on that because you're taking the microphone, you're in charge. So, because some of them will be like, well, I don't know what a good time would be, but and do that and stick to it. And that shows that you're consistent and trustworthy, and that you keep your word. And that's something that teens really, really need to know as they grow up and decide what kind of humans they want to be in the world too. So the last thing is to celebrate and connect. I mentioned how I acknowledged when the people in the room had to take care of their own selves. They needed to take care of their own needs. They needed to move, get up, get water, even though there was a speaker speaking or we were moving on to another thing. This was probably the key piece of learning from being an MC that can translate to parenting a teenager, is being able to hold that space for the unique individual that your child is becoming or is. Being able to hold that space and celebrate who they are and how they're taking care of themselves, how they're standing up for their own needs in any given moment. So that might look like, what I did in the room. Hey, thank you for taking care of yourself. I know this is a long day. I love and I appreciate you for standing up and doing what you need to do. Or when I told people to move around the room, I appreciate you, those of you in the room who didn't listen to me because moving was not what you needed in this moment. And I acknowledge them for being aware enough to know what they needed in the moment and that it wasn't that. Because there were a few people who didn't move. And it's not, instead of getting offended by them not listening to me because I was in charge, I was holding the space, I wasn't paying attention to all 60, 70, 80 people in the room, whatever it was. I noticed a few, and I talked to a few individuals that said, you know what, I just had too much stuff, so I let people move around me. And that was a totally valid choice. So I did. I took a moment from the microphone to celebrate that. Thank you for those of you who said no and who did what you need in this moment. So the translation to parenting is trust that your kids know who they are and have an idea. They have a sense of what they need in a given moment. And if they're asking you, making a request, and your default is no, 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 you can't have that, the invitation for you is to be open to hearing them and acknowledging them for making the request, because sometimes that takes a lot of mental and emotional effort because they know that the likely response might be no. So to stay open to acknowledging what they are doing right in that moment. You know what? Really, thank you for coming to me with this. I really appreciate it. And if the answer's still no, the answer's still no. That's cool. And you can also acknowledge that if the answer is not a no, but it's not quite a yes yet, you can say, that is a really interesting request. I appreciate you coming to me with this. I need to think about it. Can we talk again later? And circle back. My middle son is really, really good at this because he remembers and he really presses on the maybe. If it's not a no, he assumes it's a yes. And so he will circle back. So I have to be very specific with him in telling him, I need to think about it. Here's why I need to think about it. Here's one or two of the things I need to think about in relation to it. Can you understand that? And usually he's like, yeah, I can understand that. And then let's talk about it after dinner. Let's talk about it tomorrow. Because that gives me space. And then I know he'll hold me accountable to it. If that's not the kind of relationship you have with your teen or young adult, then you translate for what it needs to be for you. And that's totally fine too. So the other thing that's in the celebrating and connecting. So celebrating them for what they're doing right, celebrating them for what's going well, celebrating each other, like build that culture in your family of celebration, acknowledging and seeing and noticing what's going right. Be a good finder. That is so, so important, especially in the teenage years and in this tough transition that they're making to adulthood. Be a good finder. Maybe your kid doesn't perform top of the heap in their sport of choice. What they do, perhaps you notice, is that they're really awesome at encouraging the other people on their team. That's really important because that helps the high performers perform better. So even if they're not the top athlete or the top academically, they might be the ones who are in the background encouraging people to do better. And we all need those people in our corner. So celebrate them for that. And celebrate them if they're doing well in their athletic or in their sport, in their athletes, in their academics. Celebrate what they're doing well. Celebrate the work behind it. You know, I've seen you practice every day this week. I know that's going to impact your performance. You know what? I've seen you take some time to do your homework and to organize your room or organize your backpack. Like that's really going to help up level your studying abilities and make a difference when it comes to test time or grade time. Acknowledge the work that they're putting in and celebrate them for doing that, because those are all, the habits, the values you want to see when they show up. Point it out, celebrate it. And okay, so celebrate what's going well. What do you do with what's not going well? Yes, you have to have tough conversations sometimes, it's true. And sometimes you can let it go. You can laugh about it. They know where they're falling short. Trust me, they probably think they're falling shorter, like way more short than you see as their parent. Just laugh about it. Laugh about what's not going right. If they made a big error, like laugh together about it. Not laugh at them, laugh with them, saying, you know what? These things happen. Let me tell you a story about when I screwed it up. And that, again, was a lesson I had at the microphone. Stay curious about what was going to go wrong. Let's see what's going to happen. Let's see where we're going to maybe get messy and screw up a little bit. And being able to tell the stories and laugh about it. We had somebody on stage who fell and bounced right back up. And everybody took that as the lesson in resilience, getting back up when you fall down. And nobody in the room made that speaker feel less than or like a failure for falling. We celebrated the getting up. So you can laugh at the falling, you can celebrate the getting up. I think that is a really powerful lesson. I didn't even really think about that one until just now. But it was really powerful moment for the whole room when that happened to that speaker. So you can laugh, you brush off what isn't going well, but And you can also see the lessons and what was going well, even in the mistakes or the mess ups. And, dance, have fun together, play together, go places um, that might not seem fun, but use them as opportunities to connect. I always invite my kids to come with me grocery shopping. Most of the time they don't, but I'll invite them on the weekends. Like, hey, you want to come do this errand with me? And sometimes they do, and we have a great time and we get to laugh and they share memes with me and I send them, silly things and I call my kids bro. Um, and sometimes you just have to, not sometimes, you always have to be building that foundation of connection and fun so that when those tougher moments come, they feel safe with you, they feel connected with you. And that is a huge thing that we did at Warrior was there were moments of fun, high energy, enthusiasm, big music, laughter, jokes. We had a great time, silly videos, and that really built community and connection around that fun. So that is another lesson from the Warrior stage. Build that connection around the fun. And that is what I have to say. So in conclusion, here are my lessons from the Warrior stage. Set the stage, know what you want, ask for it, and be specific. Set your intentions. Know what you want before you go into an interaction or maybe a difficult conversation with your teenager. Know what the best possible outcome would be that you would want the most. And then maybe what the, what the next best would be. Read the room. Know when it's time to bring up difficult things and when it's not. And hold that there are times it's not going to be effective to wait. So be specific and cultivate that culture, that relationship of being able to give and receive feedback. Say, hey, can we talk about this? And if they can't or you can't, you know what? I'm really not in a place to talk about that right now. Let me think about it. And can we talk after dinner or can we talk tomorrow? And have that be options and be okay if they say no to you. What do they need? How can that need be met? And then how do you move forward through that? And the last piece was celebration and connection. Build that connection, build that culture, community of fun. And because that's the foundation that you get to build those deeper levels of relationship on top of. Name what's going well, be a good finder, celebrate what's going well, even in what's going not so well. Celebrate the learning and the mistakes and laugh where you can with them, with your teenagers. And create that culture around fun. Dance together, do errands together, call them silly, like joke around together, and I want to say call them silly names, but that's not really what I mean. I was call them bro or dude or I have boys, so we're definitely in the bro stage here. And if you are looking for ways to stay connected and encourage this culture of communication and connection with your teen who maybe seems like they're just always holed up in their room on their phone, or maybe they're already away at school and you don't hear from them as much as you'd like to. Let's talk, but I have a gift for you and it is sarahdeacon.com/tactics. That's my free guide that you can download. Communication, conversation starters to build communication and connection with your teenager. So go ahead and hit up sarahdeacon.com/tactics. I'll put that in the comments. And we will continue the conversation. I hope that you found this valuable. My tech is weird, so if you're watching on LinkedIn, YouTube, or Facebook, I'm not sure how well I came through, but if you're in the replay, comment in the replay and give me give me something. Tell me that you watched it. I know I went a little long. I said 20 minutes and here we are pushing 25. So I'm going to end this because it is time to get on with our Friday and go and celebrate all our wins and amazing this weekend and have fun. Connect with your family, connect with your teens, take the mic, stay in control of yourself so that you can stay in control of the conversation and lower the drama in your house. So if you have any questions about this, let me know. Download my guide, the conversation starting guide, sarahdeegan.com/tactics, and I will talk to you next time. Thank you for joining me on this live and also the replay, which will be for you on YouTube. That's probably the best place. So comment over on YouTube and Facebook and LinkedIn and wherever you might be watching. Let me know what else you need. What other what was the biggest lesson from this training? And yeah, I'm gonna end it here. Bye. Yes. Boop. I didn't actually end the stream. Okay.